You're about to suggest that we can generate motivated sellers using mail?
Yeah, we like to say that the mailbox is sexy again, and I think one of the things that's interesting, and what we're trying to preach at Curator, is this idea that you can take these social strategies, these digital strategies, and you can actually put them to work for you in the real world through traditional media. And here's the thing that's actually really interesting to me, Chris, is that it's really inexpensive to do a poll on Instagram. It's damn near free, right? If you don't count your time, it's not that expensive to run a Facebook ad. You can test out different ideas in digital, and the winners of those ideas can then become your traditional campaigns. A lot of people, they have this sort of, think about an idea, it's hope and pray, and they send a campaign out. And all of a sudden they drop $3,000 to send a shitty mailer out to their entire neighborhood that no one responds to. So I think the first thing, before we actually cover the specific technique here, folks, is you have to test your traditional campaigns digitally first. If they don't work on social, they ain't going to work in the mailbox. Now, the technique you're looking at here, Chris, is the technique called loss aversion, which is, we know that consumers have a tendency to prefer avoiding loss over gain. So what we're basically saying to the consumer here is, on the left-hand side, this would sort of be the front of the card. And I realize this postcard doesn't have the actual address and all that stuff, but you guys get the general gist of it here. On the left-hand side is don't lose your equity. And we're using, emojis, we're using big, bold font. And on the back side of it, we're talking about how the equity is your profit and how we can basically help you sell your home for more money than the average agent. Click here to call, and we give some stats behind it. But this technique of loss aversion is actually creates this emotional connection with the consumer, Chris, where they feel like the equity that they have earned by paying down their mortgage, by being in the house for 5 years. It is something that they actually own. So losing something that you own is far greater influence or persuasion than just simply gaining something new. So I personally am just simply a fan of not only the angle using loss aversion, but more importantly, using proven digital marketing strategies in the mailbox.
Yeah, let me give you a follow-up to that, because my first ever social media influencer package way back in the day was from Kodak. So Kodak mailed me a big box of goodies because of my blog and my YouTube channel.
Yep.
And the goodies was, remember that little camera, Jimmy? I forget what it was called. It was like I hate not remembering the name, but it was like a vertical camera. And it might have been called a Zoom or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But everybody had this one version of a Kodak camera.
It was,
if you guys remember what it was
on
called
phones.
in the chat, remind me. But there was a Kodak camera that was very popular, and everybody had one. So I got the camera in the mail, and I opened up the box, and the thing that got me the most excited about on the box, Jimmy, did you find the camera? Are you finding the camera name
right now?
I want to say it was like a flip. My God, it kills me.
I'll see if the fans know here, because
the fans must know. They've got to know. So I get this camera and I'm looking at the box, and the thing that got me the most excited when I got the box, Jimmy, was that it had all the social media icons on the box.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, this camera works with Facebook? Because this is like 09, okay, 010. Like, it was like super early days. I'm like, oh my God, this camera is compatible with Twitter? This is amazing. So I take the camera and I did a video, and I'm trying to upload it to Twitter and Facebook, and I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the camera didn't even have Wi-Fi. I'm like, how is this going to work? So I hit up the Kodak rep that has sent me the swag. I said, excuse me, I'm trying to use the Facebook posting tool and the Twitter posting tool, and I can't figure out how that works. They said, oh, all you got to do is after you take your video, you just take out the memory card. And then you put the memory card in your computer. And then you save what you videoed, and then you save it on your computer. And then on your computer, you can open up Facebook and Twitter, and you can share it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like such a bait and switch. So I said, why would you guys do that? That's very frustrating. I feel very misled. He said, well, let me be honest with you. We did some research, and this goes back to your point, Jimmy. What we learned was that by simply having the social media icons on the box, people at the store were 20% more likely to pick it up off the shelf. And so when I look at the postcard you're showing, it's almost like an emoji is the new social media icon.
Yeah.
I think that the way that postcard is designed, I mean, that looks like an Instagram post.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a postcard. And there's these rare sort of blocks in time where you can basically get more people to pick your stuff up and more people to turn your stuff over by simply putting really smart icons on them. Anyway,
yeah, the
Kodak,
camera,
man. I mean, let's be honest. Where are they now, Jimmy?
Well, the camera that you were mentioning earlier, a few people were dropping the chat. It was the flip camera.
The flip. I got it.
The flip. Yeah. So you did get it. Because what was the other one? Zoom. I think Zoom was that Microsoft that MP3 player that I had many years ago.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of mail. But the point would be, whether you're a retail store and you're making your box a little sexier, or you're a direct mail company and you're trying to get them to turn it or not throw it away, like you said, use what they're used to seeing elsewhere when they see your stuff.